Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tim Aslan here with another crypto update. Today, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, ETH, and the stock market to prepare for the week. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July weekend, especially if you're in the US. Hopefully, it was filled with good food, good friends, and family. Mine certainly was. So, let's take a look at the markets here. And then let's review where we left off of from a few days ago. So thanks for the warm welcome back to YouTube. I saw a lot of people supporting the last video, so thank you all for that. So let's get right into it. First off, let's look at the weekly time frame because we're going to have a weekly candle close today. Now, the first thing that I notice is that currently we are right above the value area high, meaning this is one of the this is the high point of the most traded volume area. So typically what happens is if we close above this area, we are breaking out of the range and ready to go form a new impulse to the upside. So I think, in my opinion, it will be key to close above this white line, which is located at 108,500 USD. So right now we are above it and we have about 2 hours to go. A lot of you will be watching this video after that candle closes. So hopefully we're above it at that point, but we'll take a look, in the coming days, and I will post another update this week. So no worries on that. Daily candle, same thing, significantly above it for now. We also broke out of this downward trend line, retested. As you can see, I took the volume of this mini range right here that we had, and we closed above that volume point of control. And as you can see, now we're also above the value area high. So in just this little snapshot, it's a very positive sign. Now, in the last video, I did also talk about marking the monthly open, and this is exactly why, because as we came up, let me explain this a little better. So I hope you all can see. I got some feedback, by the way, that my pointer color was not showing up, so I changed it to red. Let me know if that works. So this candle right here is where the monthly opened, right? Immediately we dumped from the monthly open, and then right after that we just had a beautiful pump, right? So we never actually came back to test it, right? We had one move below it and one move above it, but no test of it. Now, after closing above the trend line, we did in fact come back, just slightly front ran it on this Binance chart, but we just came here to touch this area of monthly open to confirm that this month wants to be above that, right? So that's why it's very important to mark the monthly open. I don't see a lot of people doing that. It just gives you a nice little level, right? So very good that we closed and went back above it. Now, same thing. Here's the weekly open, right? So weekly candle opened up here, just terrible, terrible week when we opened it and then went below it. We went back above, came here, just dumped straight through it, came up, bearishly tapped it, came back down. But then from this stronger volume area here on the left, we did come back up above it. And as you can see today, actually, in the last 2 hours, 2 hours ago, oops. There we go. 2 hours ago, we did come back to retest it again, and now we're hovering above it and hovering above the downward trend line. Now, it is too early to tell if we're going to close above this area, but I do genuinely like that we are above the weekly open and we retested this area. Not to mention these two white lines here. Let me explain what they are. The first one is of this mini range right here. It is the value area high. It's that white line where, like I mentioned, 70% of the volume, or about 2/3 of the volume, is traded within this area. And so that upper band of that is what's supporting the lower band of volume, right? So we stayed above this volume area. Now, same thing when we zoom out to this large range, that secondary white line actually matches the value area high from this mini range. And both of them held this current drop in price on this Sunday afternoon. So that is a very positive sign as well. Does it mean we're going to, absolutely impulse? No, but I wanted to share that that is a good sign. A couple other things. Trump today, I believe today, said that he's pausing the tariffs from going effect. The stock market was obviously closed and could not process that news. Stock market futures will be opening in about 2 hours from now. So that might open green and give us an additional pump. But the main thing is we are so close to finally being done with this range that for that to happen, we need to start pushing up here. One other smaller time frame thing I wanted to mention is if we do come down from here, which is possible, if we do come down, it would be, in my opinion, it would look something like this. See this group of wicks right here? What it would probably look like is a sweep of all this liquidity, and then a downside move, and then actually tap the monthly open, because we kind of missed it here. So this is like the short-term bearish scenario. I just want you to be prepared. I know we're all decently bullish here, but just to be prepared, this wick and these wicks kind of make me nervous. And I know on Sunday, especially, we're not pumping that much, but you can't really trust Sunday pumps that much. So if we do sweep that high, look for a move down, unfortunately. But never know, we could go with some volume above it. That's just a scenario that I wanted to mention. The next scenario is we could come down now, less likely, but I do like this liquidity piece right here, matching the point of control. Would be a nice little downward sweep and then a reversal into the week. That would look good as well. And then lastly, I did want to just mention if we do get a more significant drop, which personally I don't think will happen. I just want to prepare everyone though. This wick low right here and this wick low right here both match this giant point of control area. And that's where I think would be a good long. Just throwing that out there. Now, obviously, something like that would probably take a few days to play out, and I plan to update more frequently, so we can definitely talk about that. So make sure you're subscribed for the videos that are coming out this week. But as I'm filming this, this is looking quite strong. This is looking good. However, I don't trust anything on a Sunday, and I do want to see what happens when futures opens. Now, next thing, really briefly, I do want to touch on the monthly chart. I don't think I mentioned this last time, but if you look on the monthly chart, this was our previous all-time high, right? And then we dumped, then we went up, and we swept that previous all-time high, and then we dumped, and then we pumped back up again, right? So in my opinion, I think it'll be very important to actually capture this high this month or next, simply because if you just plan ahead on this chart and imagine that our July was red, imagine just one of these candles right here. It would be an extremely clean swing failure pattern of the previous all-time high. And in that case, I would be bearish to go down to these lows. However, I still don't think that's my primary case. I'm still more bullish, but I think we do need to start taking out this high, because for now it still looks like a sweep of the high. I just want to throw that out there. Hey everyone, really briefly, I just want to mention BitTuneX. It's the world's fastest growing crypto and derivatives exchange. It's the exchange I personally use, and they have some crazy bonuses going on right now. So if you deposit using my referral link, you can get up to $100,000 in bonuses. The reason I like this exchange so much is because it does not require any KYC. You do not need a VPN to use it. So anyone, anywhere in the world, except probably North Korea, can use this exchange. And not only that, but they do have a proof of reserve with a one-to-one reserve on all user assets. As you can see, they update this every single month. So it was just updated a few days ago. They have 134% of the Bitcoin they need, 109% of the Ethereum they need, and 102% of the USDT they need. And they even have a Merkle root hash, so you can verify your exact wallet and match it in the BitTuneX reserve ratio to understand that your funds are fully secure. You can withdraw up to $500,000 per day without KYC. So it has amazing liquidity. It's a great exchange. I've been using them for 2 years and I highly recommend it. You can use the link below. Next, because we forgot to on the last video, this is the stock market chart. Now, if you were following the videos back in April, we caught this exact low right here. Picture perfect. This was posted on Twitter as well. I don't know anyone else who hit the exact low within just a few points. So that was really, really cool to see. If anyone, bought any shares of the NASDAQ, QQQ, anything like that, down in here, let me know. You had some good iron balls if you did, because that was pretty scary, but it worked out amazingly. You always got to buy the fear and think, what kind of narrative are they trying to sell? Back then it was the Trump tariff narrative. So now we're in all-time high. Congrats everybody for that. Hopefully Bitcoin will follow shortly. Now we did pump above the all-time high with this very, very strong candle right here on Thursday. And then Friday was a half day. So I assume not a lot of volume was being traded. And it was kind of like a half-ass kind of retest on there, right? So what we do want to see is we want to see a retest of this all-time high and then further upside. On the smaller time frames, I did pull the volume just in this zone. And we do have a lot of volume essentially matching that previous all-time high. So when markets open in the next 1 or 2 hours here, I do want to see this area hold. I mean, we can deviate below it, but see this wick right here, how it already took out these other two long wicks? That seems like a very strong low, and I do want to trade above it this week. So this all-time high retest is surely the strongest place before a continuation to the upside. One thing that I was requested on was actually DXY. So one thing that I saw on Twitter, someone had an amazing chart of the DXY that I wanted to share with you all, is this. Check this out. This is on linear scale too. It's not even on log scale, but we have a perfect parallel channel on DXY dating back from May 2008. So check that out. That is just gorgeous. It held here. It held here. Will it hold here? That's the question. That's the $1 million Bitcoin question. Because I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but traditionally the DXY is correlated inversely with the NASDAQ and Bitcoin. Not always Bitcoin, but in most cases it is. So the question now is, if this support holds for DXY and we start pumping in the DXY, this is going to take a very long time. But if this is our initial pump up, I mean, traditionally, if the DXY is pumping like that, then it should mean that the NASDAQ and Bitcoin will go down. However, these channels don't always hold. So imagine a scenario where we go below this, retest, and continue to the downside. I mean, what would happen to the value of the US dollar? They're printing like crazy. The big, beautiful bill just passed. It's the largest single year deficit raise in history. I mean, US dollar should be worth down here by now anyway, right? But the thing is, we're just not sure yet, and I will closely monitor this for everybody, and we'll post this on Twitter, and we'll also share in the updates. But I mean, it's such like a double-edged sword, because if we do break down below here, and you want to visit Europe or any other country, U.S. dollar will be way weaker, and inflation will be even stronger. But you'll have Bitcoin at 200K, or if you want to protect your currency and we start pumping up, obviously trips to Europe, whatever, is cheaper. US dollar will do well, but obviously we might get some decline in the NASDAQ and in Bitcoin. So double-edged sword there. We will closely monitor this, okay? Lastly, let's briefly look at ETH. I don't want to make this video too long. Kind of rambled a bit too much already. Sorry about that, guys. But really quick on ETH, check out this wick right here. This wick right here. Boom. Horizontal support. We came down from this initial high. If you remember, I spoke last video, hey, guys, be a little bit careful here on ETH. Got a 2 or 3% move down. And then we hit this low right here. This low was a golden pocket of this established low. I really do like this low simply because it took all of these liquidity wicks right here. And then, as you can see, golden pocket held. We pumped up, missed a bearish ABC target, which is a good sign. Came down, retested this weekend range, and then moved up again. So ETH, not fully sure yet if it will continue, but in general, my thesis is more of a bullish one. One other thing I posted on Twitter, make sure you're following there if you're not already, but I posted this volume node right here, and as you can see, that is what kept us afloat in this area. So now that we've held this volume, what we really need to do for ETH is break above this value area high. Like on Bitcoin, we're already above it. On ETH, we're not above it quite yet. So we really need to break above this and get some really nice candles to the upside and flip this area. So we'll see if that happens this week. If not, if we do end up coming down like that bearish scenario on Bitcoin, the main place that we should look at is honestly anywhere in this area where the value area low meets the range low for a retest and upside. But if we start closing candle bodies below this area, that's what would make me flip a little bit bearish. We're not there yet. Right now we're looking fine. So just keep that in mind. Lastly, we did speak about XRP. Didn't really move much. Remember, this is the main zone to be watchful for. Anyways, guys, I think that's where I want to leave it off for the week. I hope you all had an amazing weekend, and stay tuned for more updates this week. Let's see how this candle closes. Looks like we're just testing the horizontal trend line right now. So let's see how this candle closes, and let's all have a great week trading together, and I'll see you in the next video.